Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crime Circus. Tonight's featured presentation is the second episode, the second interrogation of Ashley McArthur. Former crime scene investigator, they say that she killed former police officer Taylor Wright, and they say she stole $34,000. This is 1 month after her last interrogation, which can also be found right here at Crime Circus, in HD exclusively. Other channels don't have it in HD and they only give you a snippet. I care about quality. If you care about quality like I do, please consider donating through Patreon or YouTube membership. I believe I'm the only true crime channel on all of YouTube that actually cares about quality, and I've dedicated my life to this. So I hope you come back and visit Crime Circus often, because I'll be here, and I'll keep releasing content all year long. Anyways, let's see what Ashley has to say for herself this time.
Hi, how you been doing? Wow. Did you have a good night?
I'm tired.
Tired? You didn't sleep good?
I didn't sleep very much because I was actually supposed to fly out at 6 o'clock this morning, but I had a lot going on at the office, so.
Where did we go?
Well, back when I had went, but I'll probably have to go later, but, we volunteer with Sheepdog Impact Assistance.
What's that?
It's a,
Sheepdog across the police?
well, it's a, nonprofit that does things for injured first responders and any kind of military. And they're at NDC volunteering to do stuff with the Marine Corps Marathon.
Really? That's pretty close to heart for you guys.
It's a really good organization. They do a lot. Like, they sent a lot of disaster recovery teams to if the hurricanes and stuff too. It's really. It was started by a sergeant major in the Marine Corps, and a lot of retired police and fire and veterans and stuff help out with it. But they have a lot of. We went in 2015. We did the Stephen Stills run in New York.
I think I remember that. Is that the guy that ran across the bridge or something?
Yes.
And all their firefighter gear, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember that.
And we did that, and they had like several like double amputees that did the run, and single amputees, and they made they were allowed us to go like first before the rest of the people in the run, so that people in wheelchairs and stuff like that could have an opportunity to go through.
And not get run over.
But what's funny? Like, some of those guys are way better than like people with two legs.
I'm sure they're better than I could.
Sure they are. So Zach left already there, I guess?
Yeah, he left one.
What time was his plane?
6. Yeah.
I try not to take early flights. But you get there early, so.
He's still living in too. He's flying from here to Miami and then to DC.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Are we going the wrong way though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's your phone. Same condition. If you want to look over it, make sure it's in the same condition it was when you left it.
It's a break.
Yeah. I agree, but, so your black iPhone, my signature, we're turning back over on the 19th. Sign there. How you been doing?
Alright.
Yeah. Talked to Cass lately?
I haven't talked to her lately. I'll text her or message her every now and then. See, she's heard anything or what's going on, and she has an update or.
How's she doing?
She seems okay. It seems very like she'll say that she's really sad or she's been crying all day or she's frustrated. And
I still don't know which way to go.
And I asked Zach if he had heard Taylor talk about any kind of like folk games or anything like that, and he said he hadn't. But you know, it's like when Jeff was starting to ask me, you know, what I knew about, you know, Taylor and stuff, and was, well, like, as far as our nightlife and stuff, we didn't really go out together like that, you know, because first, that circle was a different circle of people. I don't know.
When did he call you?
I think yesterday.
What was his attitude?
No, he didn't call. He Facebook messaged me.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't, you know, knowing or whatever, so he did that where he.
I was kind of wondering how who would give him.
No, he looked me up on Facebook, and you know, he said, well, and I honestly, I probably shouldn't have even responded. He said that he was, and I just assumed, I guess, but it's J. I don't know. It's not, doesn't say his name, but it's something else, and he was like, you know, this is who I am or whatever. And I was like, well, you know, really.
Did he talk about Drake and how Drake was doing? Anyone else come forward, let you know anything? Are they all friends? Heard anything?
I don't know any of her friends really. I mean, like, Cass is the only, like, Facebook friend that we have in common.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So any of that, her other circle, I don't know, you know. So I'm not gonna, you know, ask Cass and stuff how she was doing or whatever. But other than that, we don't have any like social friends in common.
Yeah. What was Jeff saying exactly? I mean, was he concerned, or
if
was
you
he?
want to grab my phone, I'll show you.
Yeah, I don't think that's fine. I mean, you don't need or just.
He just, you know, asked like how her behavior had been, and you know, saying that, you know, it seemed out of place for her, but he didn't really know because some of the things that he had seen wasn't the person that he saw when they were together, and I'm like, well, that's kind of how we all kind of feel because we don't know who she really is. And then you hear like just different chunks. It's so bizarre, and you're thinking, okay, well, is this who she is, or is this, or is all of this somehow who she is?
Yeah. And who knows? At this point, we're kind of at a loss as well.
He did tell me that her dad had to file some affidavit about not being the reason that she was changing the court date.
Have you ever talked to her dad?
I don't even know his name, but apparently at some point Taylor had tried to change a court date and said she had to do it because her dad had to be evacuated.
Evacuated from where?
What court? Is this the court date over in Okaloosa they had supposedly she missed?
Right.
Okay.
And she had to change it because he had to be evacuated. Well, she had told Cass and I that he was deceased. But
and
then,
is it like one of those situations where she has like a biological father and then like some other dad raised her?
No.
Two different people?
Not that I know of.
Sure.
My understanding is the only person she had that like raised her is the lady that's in Tallahassee.
Is that Nancy?
I think so. And then she has a biological mother that I was told is deceased.
Lord.
And then her biological father, who was somewhere in South Florida. And that's the one that she told Cass and I that was deceased. And then apparently she told the court that she had to change the court date because he had to be evacuated from one of these hurricanes.
She went around telling people that she was deceased.
See, of course, we wouldn't know that because it's a court record or whatever. But Jeff did say that he had to sign some affidavit with the court saying that he was in fine condition and didn't need evacuation. I guess
was that over like the hurricane and everything that just happened, or was it old stuff?
No, apparently it was during one of these hurricanes. I don't know if it was Irma or.
It's the one that recently hit down in Miami.
Oh, I think it got hit pretty bad.
Yeah.
The one that destroyed Key West.
Good Lord. Sounds like a big mess.
I don't even understand it. But I can say that it's deceased and he's got to be evacuated. But of course we didn't know that. And I guess it kind of pissed him off or whatever, so he came to the court, reporting with Jeff, I guess, and said no.
But did she ever come forward and say, like, hey, I was just playing around, or, you know, I don't know why I told you that, but,
About
you know,
him being deceased?
yeah, and then now he's actually alive.
No, I didn't know that he was actually alive until after she left. Like, Cass found that. I mean, we were under the impression that he was deceased until she started talking to different people or whatever, and he was alive in South Florida.
I guess this is probably a question for Nancy. I never asked her, but is she married? She's no way she's talking about, like, Nancy's husband?
Mm-hmm.
Like that? Well, and like I said, we've been looking into it. We've had to look into everyone, obviously. I'm sure you can imagine with the knowledge you do have of law enforcement, we got to look into everyone. So we've been doing it, and you know, we've turned up some things that we don't really know what to think at this point.
Okay.
So we don't know who's involved with what, right? Like I said before, I don't know Jeff's involvement. Obviously, there's probably some bitter feelings over the money issue and the child and Drake and all. I'm sure, you know, she loved Drake or loves Drake, but
Right.
Obviously, Jeff has probably no intent on letting Taylor have that child, right?
At this point, I don't think she needs him right now.
Yeah. Well, when we were conducting our investigation, we've come across, like I said, several things. We don't know whether it's civil or something y'all have had agreements on or whatever. So I was going to ask you about them if you don't mind, if you have some time. But with that, because we don't know the nature of it, I need to read you something.
Okay.
Cool? Okay. Try to breeze through this real quick. It turns out it's just civil issues, and that's not what we deal with. So before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say against you can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before he asks you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you can't afford a lawyer, it won't be appointed for you for questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering anytime. You understand that? You understand? If you want to read it, you're more welcome to.
I think y'all may be business partners or something. That's the reason we're asking.
Right.
I'm not sure.
So, as I was saying, when we were doing our investigation, we've looked into everyone. By nature, we have to. We just got done talking to Cassandra not long ago, a few days ago. I know she's a girlfriend, right? I'm sure she cares about Taylor, as do you, I'm sure. But we found some bank records that drew some questions. Can you tell me anything about you and Taylor and any sort of involvement with any businesses?
She needed to put, like, money and whatever, and she also wanted to do some of the stuff with my T-shirt business and stuff as well, with her Takeo. And so we added her to my Purely Southern Willsboro account.
Is that a T-shirt business?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? What does that entail?
We do, like, festivals and things like that, sort of like the gun shows and things like that she was going to, where she wanted to sell her clips and tactical things and stuff like that.
Okay. So, did y'all have, like, a business agreement?
Nothing, like, really formal.
So what was kind of the plan? She was to just kind of come to put her name on y'all's business or something and
yeah,
sell
we were
T-shirts?
we would just use that as just a umbrella for all of the tactical and the T-shirts and everything together.
Okay. Now, were you going to do, like, the ordering for her, or was she going to just kind of bring the stuff and do her own thing?
We haven't really worked it all out yet.
Okay.
Which day y'all added or opened the account?
The account's been open for several years. We added her before she went to North Carolina with Drake.
How long ago was that, roughly? You remember?
Probably early August.
Okay. How do you, and just out of curiosity, how do you add someone to,
You have to go into the bank with that person, and they sign their portion, and then I sign that it's okay to be added to the account.
do you recall which bank y'all went to and did that?
Yeah, we went to the Wells Fargo on the Road.
Where's Kim Strand?
No, the Target, the University branch.
So, is it over off the Bayou?
No, the Target on the Road.
Right, I'm not familiar with that area. I think it's Target. I think it's the one out by the mall.
No, it's the one that's right near the house she used to live in with the room that she had rented off of my mom. Right there, it's University and
I think it's out there. There's a big, huge golf course out there, and there's a pin air. I don't know where the Wells Fargo is at. I don't remember seeing it out there. I don't live out that way, so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's right at the University and
Right at the corner there?
well, okay, it's in the parking lot.
Of the Target?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like there's Panda, like okay, you know how they have the out parcels or whatever. It's next door to Chick-fil-A across the like just one more about west.
Okay. Makes sense. I just never go out there.
Yeah, I think there's like Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, Wells Fargo regions. Starbucks, something maybe. They're all right together.
okay. So, y'all agreed to be, I guess, business partners. Who all is in on that business?
The only people on there are me, Zach, and Taylor.
And Zach was okay with all that? With this?
He doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Typical guy.
Yeah. He's just kind of on the account because he's married to you?
Right.
What was his feelings towards, I mean, did he know that she was getting involved?
No, but he's not involved. I mean, we just didn't, like, Taylor and I's business we didn't really discuss with Zach because
Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about, how he felt about you all going in and being business partners. So,
the relationship that Zach and I have is
yeah, you could.
well, he's only worked 3 days in the past 6 years, so like
Oh,
what
really?
I do business-wise, it's not like up to him, I guess.
Does he not know what all goes on?
What do you, I mean, like
With the business. Your amusement business and this purely Southern business.
I talked to him about it here and there or whatever, but he's not really, involved in anything. If I say, hey, can you come help me move the machine, he might do it, or he might say, I'm not a worker, I don't do
Really? How does that go?
You've been carrying the load for the last 6 years? How does that make you feel?
Zach is a very good person, and he has struggled with all the stuff that he had, but since that wreck, he's just tired,
I could see, I don't want to say the breadwinner in the family, but I'm sure it takes a toll on him.
It's frustrating for him, and that wreck, especially just getting back into law enforcement and it happening like it did. He had last week, I think, an interview or two or whatever. He just doesn't know what he wants to do. And I understand that. The problem is, and you probably don't do that, but you probably would. Once you've done this job for so long, if somebody asks you, okay, you're not working here tomorrow, what are you going to do?
I don't know what I would do. So I don't know how I'm going to feed my family. I would go home and probably cry.
That's what I mean.
And
Because
be lost.
it's not a job that they're it's a
What
lateral.
else can we go do?
I may not have been in it long, but I don't feel any different.
No, I know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what else.
but you're not as far out of, like, thinking about, okay, what I'm going to do or whatever. But, like, after a while.
I can't go to retail because I would lose my patience with people.
Oh, I know.
So I can't do
Well, I
that.
try to get Zach to do that, though, during, like, hunting season and stuff, because I was like, can you always get a job at, like, Gander Mountain so you get a discount on all this stuff, Brian? I mean,
Let me ask you this.
25% would be good.
Does Zach, if he doesn't work and he doesn't, obviously he's not making, does he get disability?
He got disability for 6 months after the wreck.
Does he, on a daily basis, know how much money y'all have in y'all's checking account?
No.
Okay. So if he has to buy something, does he call you, hey, hon, is there this much money in the account? Can I buy this or can I buy that? Or
No,
he just swipes his card and if it gets declined, it gets declined?
Right.
So he just swipes. Sounds like my wife.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, people a lot like people.
Does that frustrate you? Because I'm sure if he doesn't know and he's just spending, you're making plans to pay this bill, that bill, does it ever make y'all's account get jacked up because of spending?
Not really. I mean, he's pretty stable.
Okay.
He's not over the top or, whatever with anything. He's not crazy about, just nutty stuff or whatever. But, I mean, but for my business, it's been just hard since we had the fire at our office. It's just
What happened with that?
nothing, we're just waiting on insurance to do their thing or whatever, but
When was the fire?
back in June.
At the whole warehouse?
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all lose like a bunch of property or something?
Mostly parts. And the bigger thing is just like some of those parts are things that we had stockpiled for years and years and that aren't available now. Like for Mega Touches, the things that, the stone bar or whatever.
Like the card game and touch the screen?
Right. They don't make them anymore, so we had parts and tons of parts and stuff that we had to fix all that, but now that they don't make them anymore, it's hard to keep the stuff that we have going because
I imagine
there's no
those
parts
new
for that.
machines, I'm sure, are not cheap.
Well, they don't make them. So
Can you get
you're
the parts
just,
at all?
no, and you can't get new machines, so that's
And the bars get mad whenever y'all tell them, hey, we have to take this thing out because we don't have the parts to fix it.
They do. They get frustrated because it's kind of like pinballs and things. Everybody thinks that they want them, and then it may make a few dollars here or there or whatever, but the budget isn't there.
Right.
So
How's that business doing?
it's okay. It's been better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
What about the T-shirt business? Is it?
we haven't done a lot with it since I got hurt, really. We used to be pretty active with it, and planned on, doing it again, but it's busy weekends, and it's a lot of travel and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Is it like a certain time of the year they have these conventions, or is it 12 year, or
It's
12
pretty
months
much
a year?
year round, but Taylor has a lot more time to do it, so like to do the travel and stuff like that. So she's going to take, like the T-shirts and stuff more with her than we would be going out to do it just because I'm sort of stuck here with my other business and stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. So basically what we're trying to do also is my concern here is Drake, right? I mean, I'm sure you have a child, right? I can't imagine, my kid's not old enough to know, obviously, anything, but how these children who are old enough to know their parents would feel if the parent just took off.
Well, I was here for a couple hours and my daughter flipped out. She was everybody in the county.
Yeah, I mean, in a month. I don't know. I mean, how would your daughter feel if, and then not in the unknown,
Right.
right? So one of my bigger concerns. Not that I don't care about your feelings and with Taylor and all, or Cassandra's, but you have his child. So I kind of want to get him some sort of answers, right? And I don't really know where to go next. Do you have any ideas, anyone that we can go talk to?
Other than the people that we've already talked about.
Anyone, has your mind changed at all? Do you feel any different? Have you thought about any other ways that this could have went down?
Not really. I don't know why she's so just irritated with that court date. I don't.
And we're talking about the court date for
This
with
whatever
Jeff?
right, and thinking that he wanted to have her arrested and all that. I don't know. And
do you think that she would go away intentionally for over a month?
I think that she would, but I don't know why she would. I mean, I could see her doing that, but I don't understand her reasoning to do any of that, but I can see her doing that. Because she just is that kind of person. She's going to go where she wants to go and do what she wants to do. And I don't know, I really feel like it's some sort of chess game with Jeff. And I don't understand it, but.
Sure. Do you think, out of all the people we've discussed, is there anyone that if they knew where Taylor was, that they would intentionally not tell us? Anyone that would be more apt to do that than others?
The only people that I would think that would be like that are maybe that girl in Biloxi.
Which is?
I guess Ginger.
The one that she came out about Honesty Night and was like, hey.
Right. And I only say that because, like, she was a completely, like, hidden thing, like, nobody knew about her. She was, like, a secret in another city, you know what I mean? It just kind of was a bizarre, like, where did this come from? Because that's the first I'd ever even heard any mention of her or Taylor really being in Biloxi. Because, like I told you, like, most of their cases are local. So I didn't really understand why she was going there and then continuing to go there after that. But
sure. Has any of your friends or acquaintances ever met Taylor? Obviously, we know Zach, your husband, that's because I would say you met her, but anyone else ever met her that she...
Maybe my friend Audrey. But we weren't really, like, out and about like that together much.
Yeah. Is that, and Audrey is who again?
She worked at one of my locations.
Is that the girl you were saying something about going to Biloxi or New Orleans with?
Yes. Yes, she did go with us, yes.
Is that the one that you were saying that you had to...
Take her to the hospital. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Next question. The purely Southern account over the past year, do you know how many deposits you and Zach or Ashley would have made into the account?
We probably haven't made any. Taylor put a check in there, or we put a check in there for Taylor maybe 3 or 4 times. Small checks, and then I gave Taylor the cash for them, but it was mostly just she was winning cash and stuff like that. But I had given her previously when her she said she had some banking issues or frozen accounts or whatever, some cash, and she owed me cash back. So
How much cash did you give her?
probably $20,000 or something. Over a period of weeks.
Oh, not at one time.
No.
So much money do you think she'll be back?
I don't know, I think the total was, I don't know, I have to look at it. Because I had been giving her cash, and she said, well, you know, when she gets her money or whatever, she would, you know, pay him back and put it in the account or whatever. And, it may be more than that, but I think she deposited a couple of her checks to that to pay me back, maybe 3 or 4 total. But we hadn't, like I said, we hadn't really used the account until Taylor and I started discussing, you know, doing this or whatever.
So, you mentioned that you said that we deposit checks for her.
Like she would give them to me, and
maybe I just don't know much about checks. That's before my time. So she
You
can.
wouldn't even get a check.
Yeah, it's all
deposit.
like I don't. That's all stuff that I heard used to happen. That's like with VHS and all. So she has a check given to her, made out to her, and she can give it to you to deposit.
yes, because we're all in the same account.
Okay.
I think she has to sign it there, right?
I don't know if you have to sign, like I don't sign mine. You just put them in.
Have you ever had to sign her name to a check to deposit it?
No.
I know my wife will forge my name on there. Don't take the money.
Most checks you don't have to.
You just put deposit only on there, I think.
You can put deposit only, or like when I deposit a lot of them, I just put them in. If it's in an account with your name on it, because I think if you were cashing something is when, you know what I mean? Because then you'd be receiving the cash. But if it's going into a listed account with, you know, your name, it's supposed to be your, you know, whatever. You know.
And she was having her accounts were frozen. So
Yeah, that's a while ago.
So y'all would deposit when all this was going down with the check stuff, or before that?
No, it was before that.
So her account was back active.
I guess at the time, I don't know.
Okay. But when y'all deposited the checks, and I'm assuming you had access to the funds, or y'all had access to the funds after. Do you know what bank she was having issues, or where these checks were coming from?
What do you mean, which checks were from?
Like, were these paychecks that someone wrote to her, or were these like where she pulled money out of a bank in form of a?
She had one cashier's check, and then I think the others were like little paychecks that somebody had written to her.
Do you recall how much the cashier's check was for?
I think 30,000, 33, 34.
And she or you deposited that?
I deposited that. I actually deposited all of the checks for her.
Into?
Unless she deposited more than mine, no. I guess she would just hand it to me and then go.
And that was into the Simply or
Purely account.
Okay. Did she ever make withdrawals or expenses from that account?
That I don't think so, because most of it was paying me back for the money I had already given her.
Sure. Now, when you were loaning her money, was it like, here's $5,000, here's $10,000, or was it like, here's a couple $100?
No, it's like, because she said that and this started way back in probably January, I don't know, that she was having, you know, issues with her bank or whatever and trying to get money out of whatever she was doing or whatever. So usually I'd give her like $1,000 or $1,500 a week or so to keep. And
good Lord.
Well, so that she could, you know, do what she needed to do and buy her products for her stuff and, you know, keep up her.
Good for her. Well, she had no referrals, but I don't know if you let me borrow $1,500.
Well, I mean, and that was for a week, but I mean, And honestly, it was probably very stupid because knowing what I know now, there's a good chance I would have never gotten, paid back for any of it because it turns out it really wasn't her. But I didn't know her to be anything but honest to me,
Sure.
So.
And you loaned her approximately $20,000 over the course of those. Okay.
It was probably 26 or 28. I don't really know. I mean, it wasn't. And she just said, once I get the money, I'll put it in there for whatever. And okay, that's fine. But I mean, to my knowledge, she was making it with her private investigator stuff, but she just was like, this money is getting tied up. Can you help me out? And
Does Zach know all this?
probably not. I mean, we don't really talk about finance stuff.
Did you ever talk to anyone about any of this, any of the loans or Taylor being on the account? Was there anyone else y'all discussed about being partners with y'all, or anyone that she had in mind?
I mean, no, she didn't discuss it with me. Now, I think she does have another guy that she works with some of her other stuff.
No, PI stuff or a different?
Some of her TACO stuff that is like the molding.
What did it mean? Molding?
Molding for like clips and holsters and.
Oh, so they make gun holsters.
Yeah, like those Kydex holsters and different things.
And she's got a business that does that?
Mm-hmm. That's what we were all going to just umbrella into the other.
They were just going to go all over the place. You were going to have kind of the T-shirts.
Well, that's the thing. She was going to go and have like all of it together typically, because I didn't have the time to go. And so we were just going to kind of add it together. And realistically, she, I think was mostly doing that so that she didn't have to let Jeff see all of her stuff,
Yeah.
Because she was busy trying to.
Did Jeff inquire about the funds at all whenever he reached out to you? About like these funds that she apparently had taken from or withdrawn from an account that he was on?
I think he said something about like, that she had to do that in the court or whatever, but I mean, he didn't really mention much of it at all.
Okay. I wanted to at some point go back over kind of your timeline again,
Okay.
If you didn't mind. And the day that she last went missing, can you kind of start with like that night before, if you remember? Yeah.
Can I check my phone really quick?
Sure. Do they have a problem with us bringing the phones in?
I'm not supposed to bring them in here.
Well, can I just walk out there and like check it with them? I told everybody I'd be like to work, and so they're gonna be like, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
It shouldn't take much longer.
Yeah, we'll try to
Okay.
speed this up.
Well, I just didn't want anything to like. They're probably gonna be like, "Where am I?" And my collector's supposed to meet me in the house, so I was like, "Oh, I won't be down there long," so I didn't know.
Yeah, it shouldn't take very long.
Yeah, it won't take too long. So the night before, how did that go? Were you with Taylor?
I saw her at Twin Peaks.
Okay. And how did that go?
Fine. I mean, it was pretty uneventful. I just met him up there. I didn't eat. Taylor ate. Cass didn't eat. And
So did you go home after that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what time did you leave your house again? On the, I guess it would be the 8th. Is that right?
7th would have been the day before.
Yeah, so the 8th
So
would have
the
been
8th
the
would have
day.
been
probably not till
that Saturday, right? What's Saturday the 8th?
days run together for me.
Yeah, and like I said, we went over all this.
Sorry, that's a Friday.
Friday. So that was a Friday. And we're just trying to get everyone kind of went through this with Cassandra, everything that she did, where she went. And Jeff, we're going to end up doing this with him as well. Was he in town? Was he not in town? But, so you woke up on the 8th about what time on Friday?
Very early.
Did y'all have like preset plans to go meet Taylor and pick her up that day?
Yeah, she and I were going to spend the day together, so, but she called me, probably 9 or 9:30, I would imagine. So it would have probably been earlier than that.
And is that when y'all made the plans to be together all day, or was that pre-planned?
We planned to do that the day before, I think.
Okay.
Because I was off and didn't have a whole lot, to do that day or whatever.
Sure. So on the 8th, something I forgot to ask you before. So I know you told me before that you went over and picked up Taylor.
Right.
How did your morning go before that?
I have no idea.
When did you wake up and go straight over there? Did you have other activities going on that morning?
I think I just woke up and left the house and went over there. I'm not really a morning person, so.
Let me ask you, roughly what time did you go to bed the night before, do you recall? Was it like shortly after leaving Twin Peaks?
Oh, no. I'm not a late night person.
Okay.
I wouldn't have gone to bed until, probably 4:30 or...
Do you recall what you did that night?
I probably went to Dick's and maybe Dave's and nursing home.
Sure.
With friends.
What's Dick's?
It's one of my locations
Oh,
for my business. Mm-hmm.
You have machines there, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you went to Sticks and then...
Most likely.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Is there any particular people you hang out with there?
I'm friends with the owner and, there's several people that are there,
And who's the owner?
Brandon Beatty.
Brandon Beatty. Who would you have gone to Babes with?
Probably him and, anybody that was at the bar or that was there later, and although,
Did Brandon ever meet Taylor?
no.
Never? Okay.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
Is he not a fan of you going out places, or he just...
No, he's okay. Zach and I have kind of an open relationship.
And he's cool with that? That's his want, or that's just how you're like, look, I'm making all the money, and that's how it should be?
He doesn't really care. He is just, Zach does what Zach wants to do too, so,
Zach and Taylor have been together?
No. That really wasn't, we didn't have any kind of relationship like that with Taylor.
Do you think before, or is it possible that before you had met Taylor that Zach and Taylor were like that, or do you think he would have told you?
He probably would have told me. Because he's, pretty open about it. I don't think so. He kind of always, he thinks she kind of looks manly. She's not really, his type.
Sure. How does he feel about you and Brandon being friends?
sometimes he's better about it than others. It just depends.
Sure. No, I'm tracking. And look, we're all adults here, right?
Nothing you can say is going to catch us off guard.
No, we're cool with it, and I'm not here to judge anyone's lifestyle. I got no problem with it. So that night, y'all, or you, Zach, didn't go. You went to Sticks, maybe to Babes, or
Maybe.
what did you do? Did you recall what you did after that?
I would have gone home.
Okay. Is there anyone that you may have hung out with that night who you're more involved with than just friends?
What do you mean?
Like, you say that you and Zach are in an open relationship.
Yeah, but like that, nobody more than that.
Okay. No more than just friends, or than just strictly open relationship?
No, like Brandon is the only person that I ever really see.
Okay. So,
His wife. Is he married? I'm assuming he's married.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know?
She does.
Oh, she's cool with it too? Oh, crap.
so he does his own thing, and hey, look, this
Society does exist.
Yeah. So he does his own thing, she does her own thing,
Right.
you do yours, and Zach does his. Are there any other folks involved? So when you say open, it's y'all are kind of open, but you have one particular kind of person that you...
I do, because I just don't choose to. Like, I'm actually a very kind of shy person.
Sure.
But Zach, not so much.
They just...
Goes out there.
And you're cool with that? You don't have a problem with him doing his thing like that? Okay. So, after Babes, you go home. Then what? Sure, and then you wake up.
You and Brandon hook up that night?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. I just, some days we do, some days we don't. Some days, I mean, it just, we're just hanging out with friends or whoever, I'm
trying to think is Brandon the one that, there was the day that Jeff and I met you at your house, and we were trying to get the phone working. Was Jeff the one that brought you over there that day? Or, I'm sorry, Brandon the one that brought you over there that day? It was a kind of a white guy in a white car.
No. That is one of my cousins that's in town.
Okay. And who's that? Just
Kyle Britt.
okay.
Where
does he stay?
He is from Gainesville, and he just moved back here. So, he is an interesting character.
Is he? Is he in school, or does he work with you in the business?
No, he's at UWF. He just happened to be helping me that day with some of moving stuff, just as extra hands on deck. But
where does he stay on campus out there?
He is staying with a friend right now. I don't know where they're staying.
And did he ever meet Taylor?
No.
Or see her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go to sleep, wake up the next day. Do you recall if you had any activities that morning when you woke up, or how did that morning go?
What did you? Got nothing. I mean, I'm not a morning person, so I probably would have just slept in until I went to get Taylor.
Okay.
I don't remember. I mean, it looked like that I didn't go anywhere until I left the house that morning.
And then, so, can you just go through your day again for me?
Well, I went to Taylor's, and she was moving stuff there, our house. So we were there for a little bit. And then we went to my office. then we went to the bank because I had to make a deposit.
You don't think that would have been?
Springfield Drive.
Is this all Wells Fargo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As some folks got new banks.
And then we came back to my house, I think. And then we went back to, I think we came back to my house. And then we went back to her house. And then she got some other stuff. And then we drove by our place in Villa, Villa Road.
You said, is that the place that you said she was working the case on?
Right.
Do you recall at all exactly where that place was, or?
I wish someone told me. I mean, I just wasn't really paying attention to what it was. I know it's somewhere between, like, 9 Mile and Mobile Highway.
Which is that's a pretty short stretch, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's
On Beulah Road.
mm-hmm.
Was on Beulah Road, sir?
I mean, that's what she was looking for a car or whatever, but it was on that road. We didn't, go
So y'all go north of, this would be 9 miles to go to this house? Where we all went?
No, we went south of there from between Mobile Highway and Villa Road because we stopped at that gas station to get a drink.
Where were y'all driving that day?
The Zach's F-250.
Okay. Does he know y'all were driving it?
Yes, and he was furious. You see that bitch in my truck?
Good Lord, you got some issues for her that day.
Yeah. I can't believe they put her in the room. Well, but my car, or, no, my collector had my car, and he had a Jeep maybe for something. I don't know. Anyway, I got stuck with it. So.
You said your collector had your car?
Mm-hmm.
What's a collector?
Yeah.
Oh, the lady that goes around and collects the money on the machines for me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Nice. So you don't have to go do that.
I typically go with her. That way I can talk to the customers and stuff like that. But she, does it on a daily basis.
Really? She got to run click every day?
It's a lot of money. Well, I hope it's a lot.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, how, if you don't mind, how much money does that bring in? Like pool tables and?
Some of our pool tables will have $300 or $400 a week a piece in them, and the jukeboxes $600 or $700 a piece.
A week?
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
I'm
Awesome.
sure
Happy
you're
for
going to
you.
have a bunch of them, though, to make it
We have a ton.
profitable, right?
Yeah, but my dad's been in this business for 45 years, so we have a bunch of locations and a bunch of equipment.
So when you got in the game, it was kind of already a little bit, primed for you.
Already established, huh?
Didn't have
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of overhead. You had to go buy tons of machines or anything like that.
No, but it's actually not as good a business as it used to be, only because a long time ago we used to have a bunch of recreation. You probably don't know about that. Recreation centers and arcades and things,
Mhm.
and now it's not really like that because they're since Xbox and stuff like that came out, it's kind of
I remember
changed.
the arcades.
People use phones as jukeboxes now.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, we have those kind of jukeboxes.
Really?
Yeah, where you can do the digital bar link or whatever.
I do remember the arcades kind of dying out when I was younger. I do remember them though. But I agree, there was more. Every mall you went to, there was a pretty big arcade. Yeah, I mean, you go into any movie theaters that I recall, there was pretty big arcades in there.
Right.
Now I think there's some sole standalone arcade places.
Right.
But I don't think it's like you said. I don't think it's as.
Well, we used to have one at the beach on the boardwalk.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was one out there.
Where Counting Funds is.
Yeah? They used to be an arcade?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, it was Clearwater Beach Arcade, and then it was right there.
Y'all owned the whole arcade or just rented the
Like,
machines?
The whole thing. That one we leased the spot and did ourselves, but most of them we just put the equipment in there. You know, we put it in and it's, you know, 50-50 or 60-40, depending on whatever the split is. And, you know, we have like we have resorts and things like that over in Alabama and stuff like that. You know, we're going to put games for their game rooms. They still have game rooms and stuff for things like that.
Interesting. Sorry, kind of got off track.
Yeah, I see what's happening. Sorry. So you were at you said you went to the store, grabbed a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall which store that was?
In Thompson. At,
So you stop in there, you get a drink, and then where?
And then I think we went to go check their scenic highway spot.
There, who's there? Should there?
Their scenic, I mean, Taylor scenic highway spot, like their,
okay, whoever she was working the case on over there.
Do
you recall how long you were out there at the store in Beulah?
Not really. I mean, we were there a whole long time.
Are we talking, just so we can kind of keep up with this time, are we talking like 5-10 minutes?
Probably so. I mean, maybe 10.
Okay.
I think it was pretty busy because I think we actually had to move spots.
Okay.
So
y'all go from there to scenic. How did that go?
Mm-hmm. And
let me ask you, sorry, how did you get there? Do you recall which way you took?
I think we just went down the line to the interstate. And then back up to
Is that the interstate right there in Beulah? What about Navy Fed and all?
Right.
Okay. So you get on there, you go to...
And then go to scenic. And then go up on scenic.
Did y'all ever stop at a place or pull down like a little side road, or was it just straight?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm paying attention to what, you know what I mean? It's hard because that day didn't mean anything to me at that point, you know. It was just another day.
And what did y'all go do after that?
At that time, went to farm, Hamilton, then we came back home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me make sure I got the right number for you too before I forget. What all numbers do you have, or what all numbers can I reach you at?
712-229.
Okay. Do you still have? I know you were borrowing your friend's phone.
Yeah.
Is that still?
That's the lady that works for me. She was a collector.
Okay. So you still borrowing her phone, or she's got her phone back?
She has her phone back.
Okay. Is there any other phones that you have or would have had today that we could reach you on now? Remember? Okay. So y'all went to Milton Farm. When was the decision made, do you recall, to go out there?
I don't know. We were just talking, and she was just wanting to ride around.
What was her attitude like?
She just bored and, I mean, she was just kind of, I mean, she'd talk about, you know, the court case and stuff and Jeff a little bit. And like I said, she was drinking beer since 9. And so that morning, whenever I went and got her. And when she wasn't like depressed or angry or anything like that. I mean, she was, you know, irritated when she would talk about that, but not like just crabby and, you know. And that's why when she told me, you know, that she wants to go to beer, that I didn't really think much of it at all.
Sure, that's just an adult. So y'all went up to the Milton Farm. Mm-hmm. Do you recall how you got out there, or which?
Just to the interstate, to 87.
And how does that Now, that's your family's farm, or is Zach's family?
Mine.
How does that work? Do y'all just kind of go freely when you want, or do you have to, like, tell someone you're coming?
No, I can just go out there.
Does anyone live out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how long were y'all out there, roughly?
I don't know. 30 minutes, maybe.
And this is, you said, off of Highway 87, and shows on 90? That stretches all the way out through Milton?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm stick around here for the most part.
I guess if you don't know where Tori does on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, I stick pretty much where I'm needed. And that's just kind of locally right around here. So y'all went out there 87, 90, and hit the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Was there for a couple hours? Do you recall anything, her attitude or what it was like out there?
I mean, she was just the same. I mean, she wasn't in a bad mood. I mean, she wasn't the happiest I've ever seen her, but she wasn't crabby or, you know, out of sorts or sad or, you know, just kind of.
Was there any other family out at the farm when y'all went out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What did y'all do?
We just walked around and looked at the animals, and she hopped on one of the horses bareback for a minute and
Rode around. That's it?
settled around. Well, she was telling me about her, I guess, Nancy in Tallahassee has animals, and they just had been there not much long before that.
Okay. So she seemed relatively normal outside of being a little frustrated over the poor thing. Was she, like, highly intoxicated at any point?
Oh, no. She really only had 2 beers throughout the whole time I was with her, but, I mean, I just thought it was odd that she was drinking them. I mean, that's not what I started my day with, you know.
Sure. Well, I mean, to each their own. So y'all left the farm in Milton and went where?
Back to my house.
Okay. And can you kind of walk me through that drive? Anything that stood out to you that you can remember?
Really.
Do you recall, I know it's been a month, but do you recall, like, which roads you may have taken back?
Maybe Davis Highway or Fairfield, or how I would usually go to the interstate to Fairfield. Or
Okay. Can you go back? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
So you get back to the house, then what?
Then I went inside, and then that's when she left.
Okay. I think you mentioned something about another phone that she may have had. Is that
Right.
what's going on with that?
I don't know. I'd never seen her with it before that day.
Okay. Anything that stands out about it? Her ever mentioned any cellular provider she had?
No, the only thing I ever thought that was odd is because her number was the South Florida number.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think any of her phones were in her name.
Mm-hmm. Right before y'all parted ways, what was her attitude like?
Just kind of like whatever. I mean, I didn't get the impression that she was overly stressed or anxious, or I just didn't think anything of it when she said, you know, I think I'm going to have a beer. So, okay. I was just sitting there.
When she spoke about Drake, or when you saw her around Drake, what was that like? Did she seem, I mean, as a mother yourself, how did
I
she
didn't
seem?
even know she had a son until this summer. Like, she never really talked about him that much.
Did she ever talk about calling him or anything like that?
No, like I said, I mean, I didn't know that she had him until, like, she just never, ever mentioned it. But I mean, then in the course of summer, he came down some, and she, you know, that's why I met him and whatever, but and I had to watch him those 2 days.
How was he? I mean,
He's a great kid. I mean, smart, full of energy, well-spoken. You know, I mean, he's a good kid.
as a mother yourself, what kind of person do you think it takes to just leave a child like that?
I wouldn't leave mine.
Do you think that Taylor had that personality, or was that kind of person that she could do that?
Well, I would say no, but I also know that she did tell me that she never wanted children.
And this is her biological child. This wasn't like Jeff's kid.
No,
that she
this
came
is her
in the picture.
biological child.
Okay.
And I
And
think she had that discussion maybe with Cass too. I don't know, but we were talking about like her, whether, you know, she liked girls or guys and why. And I, you know, she said that part of the time she felt like she was with Jeff because she felt like that's what she needed to do. She needed to like get married to the hunky guy and have a child, and, you know, but it wasn't like her ultimate lifestyle or whatever, you know.
sort of like the family.
Right.
Just something sticking away. I'm tired of holding.
Yeah. Do you have anything?
I do. When obviously told you we checked into the bank stuff.
Oh, sure.
When we checked into your phone calls, do you remember dialing 911 that morning?
Oh.
Tell me what happened.
Early that morning?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, tell me what happened.
Okay. I do know.
I figured that would stick out in your mind.
911 or
You
did I
called
just
911 and the police department.
Okay, I don't remember calling 911, but I remember calling the police department.
Gotcha, you
It's because, no, it's fine. I remember doing it. I'll tell you why. Because there was a fight at Babe prior to that, and we were checking to see if somebody had a warrant. We asked the desk sergeant if there was a warrant for 2 people.
Okay.
Like people that y'all didn't like that were there?
No, like Brandon wanted to know if he had a warrant. Yeah.
Why do you have a warrant?
Because of this fight. There was a fight prior to that at Babe, and so he didn't know. Like, there was a bunch of people involved, I guess, in it, and I don't know that he was in it. I don't think he was in the fight, but
That day?
no,
Oh,
like a week or so before. And I guess there was a whole bunch of people involved, and he was trying to make sure that he wasn't like one of the people that was, you know, because they fight up there all the time. Like,
Yeah,
there's
they do.
constantly some sort of silliness going on. And he is the tugboat captain with Coast Guard. I mean, so he can't be like involved in any kind of like,
Brandon is?
yeah. So any kind of shady whatever. And so he was like, hey, I don't have some warrant for this fight because all these people were, you know, they get a parking lot full of whatever, and then they're all pushing each other.
Mrs. Did you and Brandon witness a wreck on the bridge that morning?
Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember. The days run together. Yes, a car hit the side rail, and we called FHP responded.
Okay. Did he attempt to call from his phone and it die or something like that?
That I don't know.
Were y'all in the same car together?
No, we're in some cars.
Who was with you?
Nobody.
Who was with him?
Nobody.
Okay. Where were y'all headed to?
His boat.
And where's his boat kept at?
Island Cove Marina.
Where's that at?
Off of Brinkus, first ridge to the right.
like off of Wise Lane, I think it is. Is that Wise? You go across the bridge.
Go across the bridge from right.
Okay, I think that's Wise. Okay. All right. Do you know how cell towers work and how phones communicate with cell towers? Okay. What happens is your phone, well,
I mean, I'm sure they.
it's still communicating with the tower, even if it's in this building.
Sure.
It's telling us, that way it knows if you get a call, it picks up the tower, this is from a string. Okay. And based off that, the tower can tell you what sector of the tower you're communicating with. I'm not an artist, so I'm going to try to
That's okay.
draw this the best that I can. Let's say like the tower's right in the middle here, and that tower covers that much area.
Right.
So most towers have 3 different sides on it, so it's kind of equal into a pie like that. And they can tell you if you're on this sector, this sector, or this sector. And we have got all these things right here. I'll show you what it looks like. Are basically what I try to draw. Like right here, at 9:05 in the morning,
Right.
your phone was communicating with this tower,
Gotcha.
and it was somewhere in this sector,
Mm-hmm.
probably at your house.
Right.
As we plot your house. Okay. Now, the phone that Brandon has, is it in your name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does Zach know that you have a phone? He has a phone in your name?
No.
Okay. We don't plan on telling him. Nothing we talk about in here goes back to
Gotcha.
Zach, and I hope you do us the same favor.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing needs to go back to Zach. I don't know how much trouble it would cost between you two, and we're not here to cause you any trouble
That's fine.
with Zach. And I don't want no problems with Zach either. But when we started plotting all the phone calls that you and Taylor were making that day, there were some discrepancies in what you had told us.
Okay.
Okay. We know that you didn't go to Milton when you said you went to Milton.
We did go to Milton.
Not when you said you went, though.
Oh, well, I don't know what.
You went that evening,
Oh, okay.
around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Maybe you went to dinner out there or something.
We did go to dinner out there.
Who all went to dinner out there with you?
Me and Zach.
You and Zach. Okay. Where'd y'all eat at?
Maybe across the bistro.
That ain't good. I don't even know where that's at. I have no reason to go to Santa Rosa County.
I don't go anywhere.
No, I stay out on by the Walmart there on Blue Angel, and I have no reason to leave that area. Okay, so there are some discrepancies, but we'll go over that all with you here in a minute. We're just trying to get everything out here. How often do you talk to this Kyle Britt guy?
Probably a couple times a day.
And when I say talk, text, or voice.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember talking to him that day on the 8th?
Probably.
You know what y'all would have spoke about?
Probably school or something.
Do you know if he was at home that day?
I don't think he was. I don't know. I don't know. I think he was at his aunt's house.
Who's his aunt?
I don't know.
Where does she stay? Now, who is Kyle's parents?
My aunt and uncle.
What's their names?
Karen and Britt.
Karen Britt.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name?
Carl.
Karen and Carl. Okay. Now, where do they stay?
Jacksonville.
Do they have any property here in Florida?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say Florida because Jacksonville is Florida. Any property here in Escambia County?
Yeah.
Okay, where's that at?
That is off of Beulah Road, too. Or, no, off of 297.
Okay. Now, do you travel out there a lot to their property?
Not a whole lot.
Do you travel more to their property or more to your aunt's property in Milton?
My aunt's probably in Milton.
Okay. When was the last time you think you went out to the property of the Bureau? Or 297, whatever you call it?
Probably a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Was Kyle there when you went?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're just there. What was the purpose of that?
My aunt was here, and I thought I'd say hi to him.
Okay. Was she visiting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dinner or just out to say hello?
We did brunch.
Oh, okay. So you're out there early?
Yeah.
Mid-morning?
There's no telling.
All right. What is Kyle's number? Do you know off the top of your head by chance? Yeah, I couldn't tell you my wife's number if I had to. It's just saved as Anna in my phone. Do you know if it's a local number or if it's a long distance number?
I don't know either.
Do you call the aunt is it your aunt, his parents? Do you call them?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you speak to them?
It just depends. I mean, 1 week we might talk 15, 20 times. The next week we might not talk for a week. It just depends on,
Okay.
Here's some. Where's that other thing I want to show? Well, I want to go back to the cow stuff here for a minute. This right here. Is this that check you were talking about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
This totally could be explainable. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. I think this is we're trying. Do you know whose signature that is?
It says Taylor's name, but it doesn't really look like her signature.
Would you have maybe wrote her name on there by chance?
Probably not.
And look, if y'all are on the account together and you have permission to, that's what we're getting at is, did you have permission to?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, she told me to deposit all the checks that I deposited. There should be several others.
There are. There's this one, right? You want to put that one in there? Is that clearly Taylor's signature?
I mean, it looks like it. Her signature is usually more bubbly.
But it's different. Obviously, those two signatures are different.
Oh, sure.
Correct.
But
You would agree with that too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How about this one? Is this one you would have put in there, you think?
Probably.
And what about that signature?
This is what her signature usually looks like. It's more bubbly.
These two seem more similar than this one to those, correct? That's why I was asking earlier if you've ever signed her name to something. Personally, I don't care if she's telling you can. That's fine.
Oh no, but I mean,
dealings
like,
with the bank.
she just. I mean, we are.
Well, is this your signature?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that looks more to that kind of writing. But, I'm not a handwriting expert. I'll never claim to be a handwriting expert. But all these signatures are yours, correct?
Right.
Okay, that's just those others. So obviously, again, it's not an issue with me. I just needed to, if you wrote that, that's fine. I just need to know if you wrote it or not.
I didn't, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like her signature to me either.
Did Zach have written her name on there?
I haven't really used that account ever.
So
I mean, I know that I deposited this.
Okay. What happened to this money after you deposited it?
A lot of it I used because it was payment for the money that I had been given to her.
She knew that you were going to do that with that check?
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine. It's a joint account.
That's why we did the account like that.
did is you had the ability to plot all your phone calls for that day, where you were.
Taylor.
And it all starts at 9:05, okay? So 9:05, you're probably at home.
Right.
I got that one actually. 8:15, you're probably at home. 9:05. 9:13. 9:15. And it's the same tower, it's a different tower because it's on the south side of your house. But what it does is there's 3 towers, and your phone will communicate with the one that's got the best signal.
Right.
And that's how it knows. That's how you always know to drop the ball. It looks like you're moving here. This may have been, I don't know where you may have been going, but it was 9:51. Do you know about what time y'all went over to your office after you picked her up?
Really.
10:13. You know where y'all may have been going. What's about what time you picked her up? Let me ask you that. That may be easier.
Probably. I thought it was about 10:30, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Then, for some reason, it didn't capture any more towers from 10:30 to 12:10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, at 12:10, you are in here.
Mm-hmm.
We know that your aunt and uncle and Kyle own the farm there on Britt Road.
Right.
And it's showing that you're probably near that farm, or if not, at that farm. And you're there when this is the time when you're telling us that you're probably in Milton or headed towards Milton, because it's 12:10 in the afternoon.
We were still on the Beulah side then.
Yeah, but if you're at that Tom Thumb, it's going to be covering down here, not up here. The Tom Thumb is not covered by this tower. Okay. 12:10, 12:22, 12:46. You're still covering the farm. 12:47, 13:01. Or sorry, 13:11, which is 1:11.
Do you recall who had been calling?
There's no telling. Like I get so many calls each day.
You're out here for quite a while. Then you leave around, at least at 13:44. Your phone's not communicating with the part of the tower that covers the road. What were y'all doing out there at this farm? So we know y'all were there.
We picked up some stuff that Taylor had there that
What was it?
that she had stored. Some kind of lockbox that she had.
Why would you not tell us that originally?
Because she asked me not to tell anyone ever.
That's not going to fly.
I gotcha.
Okay. Did you text Kyle that day asking him if he was at home?
That I don't know. Probably not. I mean, he wouldn't care if I was there.
Would you have contacted anyone and asked if anyone else was going to be out there? When did you and Taylor take this safe or lockbox out there?
A few weeks before.
Okay. And who has access to that lockbox?
She does.
What was in it?
That I don't know.
And so y'all left there, where'd y'all go?
Probably.
Actually, we were trying to find closure for the draft.
No, I
Is what we're trying to
totally
do.
understand.
Do you go back out to this farm after y'all leave?
To put her box up?
I'm asking you, do you go back out to the farm after y'all leave?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, after that day was not that eventful for us.
Beg to differ. I beg to differ with you there. Was Mr. Beatty with y'all when y'all went out there?
No.
He wasn't with y'all?
He's not going to have any towers showing out there.
Not that I know of.
So it was just you and her?
Mhm.
Nobody else? Zach wasn't with you?
Mm-mm.
Would you call and have anyone come meet you out there, or text to come meet you out there?
No.
Okay.
So you leave, looks like maybe you go back to your house. I don't know where y'all go. This is at 157.
Right.
When you leave there, that's why it was important. When you all leave there, where do y'all go?
I don't really remember. I mean, like I said, it wasn't like, we were just really kind of riding around.
What was going through your mind at that time?
What do you mean?
What were you thinking about?
Nothing. No. It was just kind of a regular day.
Regular day?
I mean, that,
If it's so regular, why wouldn't you tell us about this? Even if she didn't want you to tell us now, we're working a missing person case where your friend for over a year is missing.
I honestly didn't think it was very important to this at all.
Why was the rest of the day important, though?
I mean, really, that whole day was not, I mean, like, us going to my office and any of that.
I think something happened and you're trying to forget about it, personally. Okay. And that's fine. That's fine.
Here's the thing. You tell us that y'all went out to Milton and rode horses.
Right.
Honestly, did that happen?
Yes, it did.
So you'll have cell tower hits.
There
out
should
in
be cell
Milton.
tower hits in Milton at some point in that day.
Not when you're having dinner with Zach,
No,
but after you left Beulah.
there should be,
There's
unless
none.
I
I'm telling you now, there's none.
well,
Not
unless
till you
I
go out
didn't
there
have
with
a
Zach.
phone call.
Oh, you have phone calls all day, because here's your phone
Oh,
record.
sure.
160 pages worth.
Oh, I understand.
All right, so you go back out there. When you say you're not sure if you went back out, probably didn't. You actually did go back out there at 2:45. And you were out there for quite a while again.
So really, in essence, you spent, it seems like, at least a large portion of the majority of your day out here.
It really wasn't, though. I mean, we were
Several hours.
here and
You're still there. And you're still there. Yeah, you're still
And
there.
look,
at the same
like,
time.
Yeah, there's two different phone calls.
Mm.
There's two different calls.
Gotcha.
so, like Chad said, you know, I feel there's a reason you don't want to tell us this, but the thing is, I know you're not a bad person, right? This is a person, you're someone who tells me that your friend goes in the hospital when you're going on a vacation, right, to probably one of the funnest cities in the southeast region. Do you agree? Right? Awesome. So you're going to this place that's going to be a blast with friends that are going to be fun to be around,
Oh, sure.
right? And then you have one of your friends who goes to the hospital. Instead of you going out with other people who continue to go on and have fun, am I right?
Right.
Cassandra and Taylor, you say, you know what? My friend's more important. I'm going to the hospital with my friend,
Right.
right? Not only did you do that, you told me that you went back to Pensacola, took care of business that you had no choice but to take care of. And instead of going on about your merry way, you drove back over here, back over to New Orleans to see your friend and check on your friend. I can tell you now, I have probably very few, if any, friends that I would do that for.
Right.
Which tells me that you're probably a nicer person than I am, right? And I believe that. I believe that story. I believe without a doubt that you went back just to check on your friend and to see how she
Oh,
was.
sure.
And only a decent person would do that, right? You have nothing. What do you have to gain by driving all the way back?
No, I agree.
So, you know, again, we're talking about a little baby boy who's missing his mom, and we need to let him know what happened.
I don't know what happened to her.
That's this. Why did you go back out to that farm on Brent Road the next morning?
Maybe to feed horses? I don't know.
Was that something you normally do? Because we don't find you going back out there too many times.
No, it just depends on what they have going on.
So when was the last time you remember putting your eyes on Taylor?
When we were at my house.
that afternoon,
Right.
or that early evening.
Right.
On the 8th, not the 9th, on the 8th.
You went to the Tatum's wedding, right?
Yes.
You and Zach.
Right.
And where was that at?
That was in Robertsville.
About what time was the wedding?
I don't know. I think it was an afternoon.
Did y'all stay for both the ceremony and a little bit for the reception?
Zach stayed the whole time. I didn't.
Do you know about what time you left?
I don't know either. But it probably wasn't late.
What did you drive out there?
The Jeep.
What did Zach drive?
He rode back with, no, we drove the truck. He rode back with, Milstead.
So you left in the truck or the Jeep?
The Jeep.
Which Jeep?
Well, you said drove the truck out there. Sorry. I'm confused now.
I don't know. I don't really remember what we drove, but probably either the truck or the Jeep.
What vehicle did Ashley leave for personal property in at your house?
She had some in the Jeep and some in the truck.
What property did she have in the Jeep?
Her wings and stuff and
In the Jeep?
Yeah, I bought maybe.
When did she leave in the truck?
I don't know, maybe hats and some other stuff.
Have you collected all that property up?
Mm-hmm.
And you've given it back to Cassandra, or do you still have some of it?
No, I don't have any of it.
You've given everything back to Cassandra that was in the truck?
Yes.
Okay. Are those vehicles like really messy?
Some are, some, I mean, depends on the day.
Do you recall on those days those vehicles were filled with a bunch of stuff?
It's possible.
When you're at the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
this is the tower your phone was bouncing off of,
Mm-hmm.
or was communicating with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we did the same thing for Taylor's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the day of her disappearance.
Right.
She's either at your house or probably at her house at 9/11.
Right.
Because Cassandra said she didn't leave until closer to 10 o'clock. She thought.
Okay.
So she had 2 phone calls at around 9/11. 9:13, she's still at the same house. Probably 9:48, she's at the same area. 10:10, same tower, same sector of the tower.
Right.
Okay. Could be your house or her house.
Right.
Probably her house. Because she calls either FHP or FDLE is who this number comes back to.
Okay.
It's a state phone. You remember making a phone call to one of them while y'all were together?
No, but no.
All right. So the next morning, her phone, this is the day after she was disappeared.
Right.
Okay. At 2017,
Mm-hmm.
that's 8/17, the first phone call. Her phone is communicating with the tower that covers your house.
Okay.
Not her house, your house. Again, same tower,
Right.
same place. 8:20, all these are incoming calls. They're not outgoing calls.
Right.
Same tower covering your house.
Right.
9/11, her phone's obviously moving because it's over here off of 9 Mile in the interstate somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in that area. Okay. Still moving. 7:53.
Mm-hmm.
17:53. So I goes backwards. It arrives back at your house later on that evening.
Right.
Okay. Your phone and her phone is communicating off the same tower,
Mm-hmm.
8 minutes apart. Why do you have her phone, or why is she with you?
She wasn't with me, and I was unaware that I had her phone.
How did you get her phone?
I don't know that I have her phone. I mean, it could have been the stuff that she had in the vehicle, but
Here's the problem with that. You say you got a text message from her the evening of the 8th saying, hey, I'm okay, I just got to get away and get my head clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's not possible.
That phone was,
So you have her phone.
I don't have her phone.
well, at that point, at that time, a text came from her phone to your phone, according to you, saying,
Well, I mean, that's what popped up on my phone.
what?
I mean, I had a message pop up on my phone.
How did her phone end up back in your truck?
That I don't know. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't know that it ever left. I just got her stuff and took it to Cass.
Well, supposedly she left with her phone because she sent you a text message. That's what you're saying.
She had two phones.
But the phone that she sent you a text message on is the same phone that tower ping's hitting off of.
It may be, but that I have no idea.
Where is Taylor at?
I have no
You
idea.
need to tell us where she's at.
I don't know where Taylor is. I don't have a clue.
Look, if you were put in a situation where someone pushed you to do something for whatever reason, maybe against your will, perhaps in self-defense, if something happened and you're scared, don't be scared. Okay, if something happened, like I said, you're not a bad person. You're not a career criminal. This is a person who's traveled across states to take care of a friend. If something happened, tell us.
I don't know where she is.
We have a detective talking to Kyle right now. We know you have texted Kyle and asked him if he was at that farm on the 8th. Multiple times.
We may have. I mean, I don't.
Then you withhold that information from us. The person who is trying to help a friend out, who cares for their friends, doesn't lie to the police when they are looking for them.
I didn't think that was.
Tell me what you did to her.
I didn't do anything to her.
Tell me what Zach did.
Somebody harmed her, and she's probably out of that farm.
Zach was never even around her.
Kyle,
Kyle's never been around her.
Brandon.
Never been around her.
Then that leaves you.
So you're the only one that was with her on this day at this farm that you did not disclose to us.
I didn't do anything to
You
her.
say this, if she's at that farm, we're going to find her because we're executing a search warrant out there right now.
That's fine, but she's not going to be there.
Then where's she at?
I don't know where she
Where's
is.
her body at?
I don't know where she is.
She's dead, though. We
I
know
don't
that.
believe that. I don't
Ashley.
believe that at all.
The thing is we know that you had knowledge that phone was there because a text was sent to your phone from that phone, and it was in your possession. It was at the same location. So either Taylor was sitting in your bedroom with you, right, texting you, and you somehow didn't know, and then stayed in your car with you and communicated with other individuals the entire next day, all the way out to the wedding, went to this wedding and was hiding in your car. There's no way humanly possible that you didn't have knowledge of the phone.
That I don't know.
The thing is, I think that you're concerned. I think that you're scared. There's no need to be. Right? If something happened, we're going to figure out. Would you rather us figure out what happened with you saying, I don't know, and then catching you in with these statements that are inconsistent? Would you rather that, or would you rather come forward and say, look, an accident happened, or this asshole over here, this guy pushed this on
Look at
me?
me for a second. Don't cross your legs and look at me for a second. Don't let us tell your story. Because this is going to tell us what happened. Don't let us tell something that may not be true. Tell us what happened.
I think at this point I need an attorney because it seems to be that y'all think that I did something to her.
Okay. I respect that. Sit tight and we'll go from there, okay?
Can I use my phone?
Yeah, hold on just a second, okay?
Hey, what's this number? Where it is? It was under here. Yeah, right there. No, we can't let you use it in the interview room, but we'll give it to you when we're ready to leave, okay? Okay. It shouldn't be much longer. You want something to drink? No, I'm okay. I'm just pouring it in. It is cold in there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and this is the coldest room too, so anyway. Yeah, I'll go get Chad and Gig and tell them you're free. Maybe I can get working with them and turn Eric off. Okay? All right, just be a few more minutes. You just have to eat.
We'll be right where you're at. It ain't gonna be much longer though. All right, we're discussing that right now, okay? 2 minutes, okay? Okay. So here's the deal. We are taking your phones, your vehicles, and we just conducted a search warrant on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm going to give you your keys back.
Okay.
You're free to leave. We will give you a phone to call.
Okay.
You can call for a ride.
Okay.
Okay?
There's also a list at the house of everything we took.
Okay.
All right?
Can you get her down?
What about my wallet? In my car.
I'm not able to get it right now.
Sorry.
Well, we can't take anything out of the vehicle.
Like for...
We can't take anything out of it.
Can I get my medicine and wallet out of it?
I can't understand that. What kind of medicine is that?
Synthroid.
What's that for?
My thyroid. Like, I don't have a thyroid and I have to take it every day.
Let's see what they need
Yeah,
to
let me go
do
see
about that.
about that.
It's not really our deal. You have your thyroid taken out.
They did the radioactive iodine therapy back in 2006 because they had Graves' disease and it was overactive. And so they just destroyed it. They don't have to take the Synthroid every day.
I've had a couple people have to do that. It's very common. What causes that?
Mine was Graves' disease, and it just is like an autoimmune disorder that'll just trigger, like, randomly. I think mine did after I had my daughter. It just will pop up.
Did it make you lose a lot of weight?
I weighed like 85 pounds, and I was eating like, what? I thought it was great.
Right.
I mean, I'm eating, you know, like anything inside, I'm fine. But the only problem, it made my heart rate run about like 130, 140 all the time. So, they're like, you can't consistently stay like that.
Right.
This is kind of thing. I eat the whole turkey, and,
Wow.
you know. But, so, it was still staying high with it. But
I don't think I would even have went to the doctor. This is great.
If it hadn't been for the super rapid heart rate, I would have thought anything was wrong. Because
Was it triggered by like hormones, like your hormones change whenever you have a baby?
I guess.
Babies whack us out for sure.
My hair turned curly when I had her too. Like, my hair was more straight, and after I had her, it got like a wave, and that's really weird.
Yeah, mine's gotten curly over the years, and mine is always really straight. It may be some kind of hormone thing. And you see all these old ladies got that frizzy,
Right.
crazy hair. I definitely have frizzy, crazy hair. That's great. Something to look forward to. Where do you get your medicine filled? If they won't let us get that out, then you probably have to call your doctor and explain it to them. We're going to give you a card, a police card with my name on it, or somebody's name on it with a complaint number, and they'll usually refill it. We call the doctor. I don't know, I lost mine one time. And, I mean, it wasn't a scheduled drug. It was just like a maintenance drug, and I was able to call the pharmacy, and I don't know if they called the doctor or what. At that point, I didn't care. I just wondered that I needed this medicine. And they got it that same day. And I still haven't found it, so I don't know what I'm doing with it. Makes me mad. Probably threw it away.
Here's the car key.
Mm-hmm. The little pig was cute. At the house. He didn't like me.
He's kind of afraid of people unless you feed him.
I have one potbelly. Mine's huge. He's probably 300 pounds. And he gets cookies and cakes every day. Yeah.
I love him.
My pig is super clean. He's cleaner than the goats I have.
The pig's cleaner than the dogs.
Yeah.
He's like,
He goes in
easier.
potties in one area. And I don't know about your pig, but like if you give him a snack, he takes it so easy. You know, I have labs, and they try to take their arm off and you give them a treat, you know. But the pig just takes it so easy. He's huge. He can't even see because this part of his eye got that. That out over his eye.
Have you ever seen one that has long, like, curled toes?
Mm-mm.
My aunt had one that, like, its toenails would not, they, like, kept growing. It was weird.
I wonder if they needed to trim them. Like goats, you have to trim goats.
Right. It just was like a strange, like, I don't know. It seems like most, like, he'll walk around outside on the concrete or whatever.
Right.
He's just pretty filed down,
Right.
you know. I wish they would do that.
Mine's pretty long, but they're not like curled, but they're very fat, so they're probably just like crushed out, you know, because they kind of go apart like that.
Yeah.
But they're not gross. But it's real rocky, you know, it's like iron rock, and so even my horse and my goats, that, you know, it just wears it down, so I don't have to worry because I don't can do that. That's disgusting. That would be gross. I'm going to grab this real quick, okay? Hello? Hey. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really not. Pull it up on your satellite. Pull it up on your map and satellite. Yes. Sorry. Your married or other married name was Nick? Who was you married to? Philip. I know Philip. I went to police academy with him a long time ago. I haven't seen him in forever and ever. Was your daughter by him? Mm-hmm. I guess I would know him with someone. Yes, probably. I've been here almost 24 years. Probably about how long it was. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this thing is. Of course, when the police tell me they run you to death, and
Oh, sure.
I was 28 years old then, so I'm in a little better shape than I am now. So you gonna be able to get somebody to come get you?
Yeah.
You don't want the doors? Why?
I think that someone lets someone get in and someone in there.
Mm-hmm. I'm afraid somebody walk in on me while I was there.
At night, we'll look like when we're asleep or something, you know, but during the day.
That's nice. I'm gonna don't know too much over there.
But, I mean, you know, the wooden doors, and if someone wants to kick in,
Yeah, it'd be easy.
something too much.
Is that old wooden door?
Yeah.
When was the house built?
62.
That's probably the same door it came out when we did it. We can't hardly do a wooden door anymore for a outside door. Because of that. Did you grow up over there?
Original free.
Oh, okay. We're going to see where you went, so you can get picked out and everything. Well, they're working on the medicine. We're going to see if we can give you the medicine, so that's what he's working on.
Just, I'm not worried about it. I'll just call the pharmacy and get it.
All right, let me go find it now, because I can get it downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, if that's easier, I'll just call them and get it.
Okay, well, I hate to.
Who's got her medicine? Okay.
You got it?
Yep, I found it. We got it pulled around, and I got your medicine out.
Okay.
I'm just getting it from the person I gave it to, and we'll bring it to you.
Okay.
Okay?
So, can I go now?
Yeah, as soon as I get the medicine to you,
Okay.
have our hands over to you.
Gotcha.
So it's not that I took the medicine, it's all on camera that I gave it to
I
you.
gotcha.
Obviously, we never do that, but we
Yes.
got to play it safe.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll be right back. All right. Here's the phone. You want to call whoever you want to call, I can pick you up. You want to try from a landline so it looks a little less.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, Miss Kay. Where you at? Okay. All right. I'll give you a call right back in just a minute. All right, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, I'll be right back with it. We'll get you another.
It's okay. They don't answer. They just.
We're going to move her
Just wait.
around over to
I'll bring her
the
right
front.
back. I'll bring her right back. This is hers to give?
Yeah. Where's the sticker from the doctor?
I don't know.
Is this a prescription medication?
It's synthetic
Yeah.
thyroid.
I just want to make sure if we're giving you something that's yours.
It
We're
is.
not doing anything illegal.
But I mean, if I can, that's what I told her. I can get another one to get you rather than.
Until Did you put other pills in here?
Mhm.
So this was like expired big time. May.
I don't know who it is.
No, I don't want to keep her up. Let me first see where you went, and we'll move you around front. Your mom's here.
Oh, she is.
So
Okay,
she can take you home.
that's who I was calling.
Yeah, she's here. She's up front. Let me see.
Don't worry about that. Just literally put them in the drug box, and I'll get some other ones.
Okay. All right, come on, babe. Okay. I'm gonna take you around. Your mom can.
Well, you made it to the end. I'm proud of you for that. Now please consider joining my Patreon, YouTube membership, Cash App donations, or live chat donations. If you care about quality like I do, let's keep the show moving. I'm going to keep releasing content all year long. It'll mostly be videos you've never heard of, but the ones you have, I always present higher resolution video and audio quality. That's the stuff I care about. Other channels don't, so if you watch interrogations elsewhere, sorry not sorry. Till next time, remember to stay safe out there because you know it's a dangerous world.